What will happen with those organizations that don't embrace this cognitive revolution?
I think they will suffer and die in the sense that this seems to me a technology that's not well suited to being a fast follower, or certainly not a slow follower, because it does take a lot of learning. You do have to gather a lot of data. I think companies that decide in 5 years that, oh yeah, we really need to get with this AI thing, may have lost a lot of ground. And it's not unlike what happened with previous generations of technology. You know, retailers that didn't adopt online commerce have suffered with regard to Amazon. Shippers that didn't realize that information was as important as the package itself have lost out to UPS and FedEx. Retailers that didn't care about logistics and supply chain have lost out to Walmart. So this, I think, will have similar effects on enterprises that don't really get with the program.
There's the whole disruptive companies, disruptive startups that are in the scene that are really throwing in a spanner in the works to some degree. Some of these guys are adopting cognitive far more readily than other companies
are. Building around it.
And building around it and disrupting these large companies. So I guess added to the question I just asked you about companies that don't embrace AI and cognitive, where will they be versus those companies that are disruptive?
Well, yeah, I mean, you were talking about manufacturing before, and it turns out that manufacturing is not a highly valued business model in investment markets. You know, it tends to be 2 times revenues on average. If you take these platform-oriented companies, Uber and Airbnb and Facebook and so on, they're like 9 times revenues on average, and they can only do those business models with AI. So I think at the same time you're thinking about embracing AI, you should be thinking about, well, you know, clearly I'm not going to turn from a manufacturer to a platform company overnight, but maybe I can add some capabilities. Maybe I can start to sell somebody else's stuff in addition to mine, the way Amazon started to do with Amazon Marketplace. Maybe I can embrace some tech-oriented capabilities as GE has tried to do. I mean, that hasn't worked out terribly well so far, but I think it will eventually work out well for them. So diversifying your business model and using AI to do it, I think is a great idea.
I mean, the automotive sector is a great example there, isn't it? Where I think they're looking at completely revolutionizing, you know, looking at the servitization model. Will we all even own cars in 25 years time, or will we kind of, you know, on a pay to play sort of model? So I think we're seeing signs of it, but it's a way to go.
Yeah, it's slow. I was with the head of data and analytics for Ford this week, and they're certainly pursuing a very active and definite mobility oriented strategy, so that they're well positioned by the time this comes. And GM is doing that as well, you know, a lot of car companies around the world. So they're smart, I think, to start transitioning.